Right. So hi, I'm Sylvia from RJH Motorbike Training Limited. We're now going to talk about the road surfaces and the rider, as it is Road Safety Week. So we'll talk about clothing. We'll also talk about the effects the cold weather, etc., can have on the rider. Yeah.
Yeah, good. I think it's important that so somebody say to her, "Oh, don't ride in the winter because it's cold." Right? Okay. Well, if you get the right gear, you can keep warm. So we'll just have a bit of chat about the gear and what you need to wear and why you need to wear it. And the three things really are for protection, but also to keep warm and to keep dry. So protection. So Sylvia.
I've got on me here Gore-Tex, proper motorcycling gear, Gore-Tex jacket and trousers, which has Kevlar in the elbows, shoulders, back, and the trousers have knee protection and padding around the sides and the back as well. So really warm, really waterproof, really durable. Like, it's made up of different layers, membrane, different layers of Gore-Tex, and it's a brilliant gear.
And what if you're not keeping warm? What's going to happen? What if you don't take those precautions?
It's amazing how quick you can get cold on a motorbike. Just wearing jeans. Jeans are quite good, but you can get quick so easily. You lose your concentration. It's not enjoyable, which can cause all sorts of problems. You're not concentrating. You're thinking about your cold hands, your cold legs. So the gear is just so important when you're riding. Yeah.
Yeah. So wearing the right gear for the conditions. Yeah. So the biggest problem many bikers face, which they don't understand, is the wind chill, and the wind chill really does make you cold. And once you start getting that cold, your concentration, your reflexes, and your ability to ride safely is affected, isn't it? Then you're putting yourself at risk and others at risk. So keep yourself safe, keep yourself wrapped up, and you can ride 12 months of the year. Yeah.
I've actually got about 5 layers on. I've got like 3 t-shirts, I've got thermals on as well, and I've got this Gore-Tex coat on. So wearing loads of layers is the best way to keep warm. But it's amazing how quick you get cold, yeah.
Yeah. Also visibility, so reflective on your clothing, make yourself seen.
Yeah.
And you can get your tabards and your high-vis vests and stuff, but especially this time of the year, or all year, but this time of the year where it's dark early, dark late, and keeping yourself seen, isn't it, in all conditions.
Make yourself seen. Yeah. Don't assume you've been seen. Make sure you've been seen. People, emerging out of a side road, etc. Just make sure you've been seen. Don't assume it. Yeah.
Okay, so just wanted to touch on the helmet as well for riding in. Important. Obviously, it's a legal requirement, unless you're a male Sikh, of course. I think that's right, isn't it?
That's right.
Yeah.
When you're riding, you can just wear a turban.
Yeah. So, but everybody has to wear a helmet. What I want to do is just touch on the helmet. And this particular one is one I use for teaching. But this time of the year, we're on the bikes most days. My visor is being cleaned every day. So make sure your visor is clean and smooth cloth and everything, so you don't scratch it. We teach all this in the CBT, don't we? Yeah. But it's just a basic little tip for you. Keep yourself safe, and also if your visor's clean, you're going to be able to see out of it. Riding in this morning, visibility was really poor because the sun was just at that level. That was, oh crikey me. And another thing people just don't think about is, on a bike now, there's all these mod cons. So little flick of a button, got the sunshades. Well, you can see that. But for me, in days gone by, where you'd have to take your visor off and replace it with a sun visor, faffing around in the time that it took. Well, now with how technology and everything has come on, it's such a useful feature for riding at this time of the year. But keep yourself seen. Colour of your helmet as well. We're going for a white one because it does stand out. Not that I want to look like a policeman or anything, but it does stand out, and some useful features there.
So you've got the pin lock on it as well?
Yeah, the pin lock for, again, good point, for this time of the year. When it's a bit moist out, it does prevent the visor fogging up, which means that I can see a lot more. So it is good.
Is it quite, is that a carbon shell, is it?
Yeah, it's a tri-composite.
Tri-composite
It's a shoey,
carbon.
yeah, it's a shoey, nice one.
Really snug and warm and
Yeah. So helmets and gloves, Gore-Tex gloves.
yeah. Gloves then, you know, you need for your hands get really cold really easily.
First
really
thing to get cold.
They're the first thing to get cold. So you need to have, what we've got here is, it's a summer style glove. So on a really cold day like today, you know, your hands will get really cold really quickly. So they've got vents in them, short cuffs, you know, so something like that on a cold day will make your hands cold very easily. These are more, you know, more warmer, better protection, longer cuffs. So you just think about that protection, warmth, dryness. That's so important. You know, you could even get heated grips, which are brilliant, which is what we'll be getting on all our new Kawasaki's at the moment. We'll be getting them on very soon, heated grips for our trainees on the big bikes. They're very good heated grips, aren't they?
Yeah. I think the important thing to emphasise is that the only legal requirement you need to wear on a motorbike or a scooter is the helmet, rightly or wrongly. Everything else is completely and utterly up to you, but you do need to think very strongly about protecting yourself, keeping yourself warm, keeping yourself dry. And you can ride enjoyably 12 months of the year if you do wear the right gear for the conditions. Simple as, isn't it?
Yeah. You know, sometimes I see people quite often not wearing gloves. I think, and it's a cold day as well.
But ask them why they don't wear gloves.
Why they don't wear
Yeah, because
gloves?
my hands get too warm.
You think?
So that's why. So wear a summer pair. Simple. All these vents.
Yeah.
Wear a summer pair.
It's just so important, you know, because
So
if you ever
important.
unfortunately do come off that bike, the first thing you're going to do is put your hands out to protect yourself, and without any protection on your hands, you're going to really damage your hands.
Yeah.
So the importance of protecting,
It's
keeping
important.
warm and dry.
And choose the colour carefully. Be seen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have a nice colourful
Yeah.
pair.
Good.
Moving on, got nice BKS motorbike boots here. Very important again for Road Safety Week, the importance of the boots for protection, warmth, dryness. Trainers, sandals, Wellington boots, the like are no good for protection. You learn all this on a CBT, but we're just trying to reinforce, re-emphasise the importance of wearing boots. These are actually an ankle style boot, very comfortable for my job. I'm an instructor, so walking around in these is quite easy. But the points on it to raise is the toe protection, heel protection, ankle protection, and you know, good all-round protection basically.
Comfort's probably important as well, is
The
it?
comfort's important for myself walking around, but again, your feet get cold. You know, you need to operate things with your feet, as you know. You need to operate the brake and the gears. So make sure you keep your feet nice and warm, dry, protected. And these are fully waterproof, actually. BKS from J&S. These are fully waterproof, really nice boots, leather. Yeah. So so this is why we're having this chat. It's about Road Safety Week. So wearing the right gear for the conditions is very important.
Okay, morning everyone. Rob Howard here from RJH Motorbike Training, along with Sylvia, one of our instructors also. Road Safety Week, tips on riding in weather conditions and road surfaces. So weather conditions, we're going to have wet weather, we're going to have cold weather, we're going to have windy weather, we're going to have sunny weather, and we're going to have now possibly foggy weather. So riding in the wet, top tips on riding in the wet. Make sure your bike's mechanically sound, doing all the checks. Watch the other video we did, you'll see it on the playlist. Riding in the wet, make sure your gear is all going to keep you dry, warm and dry, because in the wet you're going to get cold and wet. You're going to get cold quicker, which is going to affect your ability to ride, concentration and so on. Also, riding in the wet, make sure your visor is clean. I use Rain-X, coat my visor with Rain-X so the water beads off, because make sure your visor's not scratched. It can affect your visibility in the wet, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
First thing, your visor will get fogged up in the wet, so make sure your gear that you're wearing is all clean and working correctly. This isn't going to go on forever. It's consumable. It will break down eventually. So make sure it's all good. Riding in the wet. Following distances. Road safety. Following distances. It is going to take you statistically up to twice as long to stop in the rain. Yeah.
Yeah.
As bikers, we see a lot of people driving too close to us, not taking into account the following distances in the wet. And one little tip that I use in the wet is that if somebody's not got a following distance behind me, I will take into account their following distance to the vehicle in front of me, so I'll double my following distance to the vehicle in front of me. So I'm sort of thinking of myself on my bike, because I'm a lot more vulnerable. Riding in the wet, so following distances statistically up to double. Following distances. What else we got? The way
4 seconds, isn't it?
Only a full brake's a 2 second rule. Do it twice. That's the easiest way that we do it, isn't it?
4 seconds.
So you make sure you've got a 4 second gap as a minimum. As I said, increase that if you've got somebody that's too close to you behind. But the way you use your brakes. So a lot of newer bikes now have ABS anti-lock braking systems. Don't rely on that. But we will always encourage, and certainly what we teach is how we ride. But we will use our brakes equal pressure in the wet, so 50-50. Dry conditions, you use your brakes a little bit more on the front, less on the back, but in the wet, 50-50, because it is going to take longer too.
Progressively.
Yeah. So riding in the wet, really, you do need to be aware of your riding and how you use your controls of the bike, and also take into account other road users. Yeah. And
how you manoeuvre on the bike. You don't want any sudden movements, particularly at junctions. Could be oil or diesel split at junctions. So on your 2 wheels, you need to be aware of
your manhole covers. Yeah,
your manhole covers, your potholes, your wet leaves.
Yeah.
Your white lines in the wet can be very
tricky.
So that the road surface, bearing that in mind, taking that into account. But the fact that you're on 2 wheels, the contact patch that you make with the road surface is only about the size of a credit card. It's very, very small contact patch that touches the surface on your wheel. So just be aware of that. A lot of people, forget about that.
So avoiding those hazards on the road surface, oil, petrol, potholes. But while you're doing that, of course, on a bike, you're out there in the open, aren't you? You're vulnerable. You're not like a cage around you, so don't forget those rear observations, like your mirrors, your lifesavers, your blind spots. You can't just go, can you? So be aware of what's going on behind.
Exactly. Yeah. And you don't want to do the lifesaver, too suddenly or too late or too early. So it's anticipating and riding ahead is so important in the difficult riding conditions.
Yeah. Okay. So wet weather, sunny weather, not too much of that now, but summertime riding in the heat. So a lot of bikers, you see, rightly or wrongly, will start stripping off a bit and wearing less protective gear. We've all seen it, shorts and t-shirts and no gloves and sandals and stuff, but think of your own safety. It's very, very important to keep yourself protected and buy some summer gear. You can buy the correct gear for the conditions. Remember, riding in the heat, so more regular breaks, water stops. You do get dehydrated in the heat, you'll get tired quicker. So think about regular stops. Think about sun visors again. So you've got your sun visor for the bright. This time of year, as I said, I rode in this morning. It was the sun was at a certain point where I just couldn't see anything, so it really benefited me having my sun visor. And riding in the summertime. everybody's happy, I suppose, and a bit more relaxed. So just be aware of the behaviour of the road users in the summer. You know, getting home after work for the barbecue and this sort of thing. You know, behaviour of other road users towards me on my bike in the summer can be different to in the winter. Yeah.
Where they're all snug and warm
Yeah, they're all
in their cars, but
they're too hot, too tired, constantly. You know, they're.
And then if you're filtering as well, if you've got an opportunity to filter, are people, you know, aware of you? You need to be aware of them. Some of them not looking in the mirrors before they're changing lanes. All sorts going on, you know, in the summer.
Yeah.
People walking between cars, filtering, etc.
So summertime, raining, wind. Yeah, so riding in the wind sets its own challenges if you've not experienced that before. A lot of car drivers feel it in the car, they blow it around. Think of us on our bikes as well. So yeah, you know, be aware that other road users don't give you the space, and of course you need a bit of space if you're being blown around a little bit. But how would you deal with strong winds?
Slow down.
Get your speed under
People
control.
sometimes want to speed up and get through that windy gusts or whatever, but you need to slow down in the wind, especially going over the viaducts and the open spaces. So just slow it right down, you know.
And you're going to get it from the front and back, from the sides. So
hold on tightly, but try to relax in the wind. Try not to fight it too much. Just, you know, try and go with it. Obviously, if it's too windy, just go in the car or get alternative transport. Don't take risks, you know. Motorcycling is risky enough, and then having to do that would be making it worse.
Yeah, good. Weather conditions, fog. Visibility poor. So again, make sure your bike's clean, make sure your lights are all clean, make sure your visors are all clean. This is all going to affect your visibility and what you can see. Question we ask many people that come through learning to ride, and they can be new into using the roads, and they can also be experienced road users, but you ask them how fast they should go in the fog and they just don't know, haven't got the answer. So speed in the fog. Well, first of all, you need to be aware of what the speed limit of that road is. Obviously the law states that you should not exceed that speed limit, but within that, what tip I use to everybody is that my speed should reflect what I can see. So I should be able to stop in the distance that I can see to be clear. Another tip is, what do you do with your lights in the fog? And people will put them on high. So you try it as an experiment, put your lights on a high beam and you'll actually see less. So keep your lights on a low beam and you know, you'll see more.
Try not to speed up in between the fog as well. Some people on dual carriageways, etc., motorways, tend to speed up in between the fog, and that's where you can get accidents happening, pile up. So again, you know, if it's too risky, get alternative transport. Don't risk it.
Why does the fog? Why do you see less with the fog, with your lights on high?
It reflects back.
Yeah, it lights up the fog particles, doesn't it?
It lights up, it reflects back. You can test it. Try it yourself. I've tried it myself, and it's the same.
So is that all the weather conditions? We've got wet weather, sunny weather, windy weather, foggy weather, cold weather. We've said make sure you've got the right gear on, keep warm. As soon as you start getting cold, we talked about that, the effects. Road surfaces. So tarmac, concrete. So tarmac with black stuff. Condition of tarmac, potholes and everything is quite poor, isn't it? And they come and repair it, and all the joins and crumbles, and more so in the spring because tarmac sort of absorbs the water and
breaks up
because the water freezes, the tarmac expands, and then this defrosts and retracts, so it sort of cracks up and crumbles, and then somebody comes along and fills it and stuff like that, and then it's all messy, isn't it? So tarmac, not the best for potholes and stuff, is it?
No, you got a lot of potholes around at the moment, so you got to watch out for
try and avoid
potholes.
road conditions. Summertime tarmac, spongy
and slippy.
So think about your side stands, and your weight of the bike can be the stand can sink into it, but generally most of the road surface is going to be tarmac. Concrete, what happens in concrete?
You get a better grip, don't you?
Grip is good, isn't it? Yeah,
Yeah, grip
is good.
Yeah.
But what does it do in the rain, tarmac?
Holds the water, so
Holds
you have
the water.
aquaplaning possibly.
Yeah, can contribute to aquaplaning, which is where your tyre is not in contact with the surface. It's a layer of water and you can feel
Not
it.
good on motorbike,
You can
is
feel
it?
it, hear it. So as soon as you experience that, just roll off the throttle, don't touch your brakes. Yeah, just get the speed back down and get that contact again.
Yeah.
This time of the year, November, a lot of leaves, so avoid your leaves, wet leaves, very slippy, white lines, very slippy, manhole covers, very slippy. A lot of construction work in many places, so roads full of mud and slime on the roads gets very slippy.
Gravel.
So be aware. Gravel. So
Very slippy.
road surfaces are important. We use the A49 quite a lot going down to the test centre, and what we'll teach the girls and boys when we take them down for tests and stuff is to use the senses. Not only what they feel and what they hear, but what they smell. So if you smell cow manure, it's a good chance
Yeah.
there's going to be something on the road.
Especially going down Shrewsbury.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So use your senses. Yeah.
Petrol stations.
Petrol stations, smell petrol and oil.
Petrol,
Yeah.
you know, the oil.
Yeah.
Slippy.
Yeah. Okay.
Anything else we want to add to that?
No. So hopefully those tips will help you out, be a bit safer on the roads. Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.